There comes a quiet moment in every life when you realize you've spent more energy chasing than becoming, chasing approval that never satisfies, chasing people who never truly see your worth, chasing success that always seems one step farther away. And somewhere in that endless race, you begin to lose the very person you were trying to improve. But what if the life you long for doesn't require you to run faster? What if the greatest transformation begins the moment you stop reaching outward and start growing inward? The truth is, the strongest trees never chase the wind, yet the birds always find them. The brightest stars never compete for attention, yet every eye is drawn to their light. In the same way, your purpose does not need desperation to become real. It needs patience, character, and the courage to believe that what is truly meant for you is already making its way toward your life. Today, I invite you to discover the quiet power of attraction over pursuit, because the moment you become the best version of yourself is often the very moment the right doors begin to open, the right people begin to appear, and the blessings that once seemed distant finally find their way home. There is a quiet freedom that begins the day you stop measuring your worth by the amount of attention you receive. Too many people spend years believing that if someone notices them, applauds them, or chooses them, then they must be valuable. But your value has never been created by another person's approval. It existed long before anyone praised you, and it will remain even if the world falls silent. The strongest souls are not built by applause. They are shaped by character, integrity, and the courage to know who they are when no one is watching. When you begin begging for attention, you slowly hand over the keys to your happiness. Every compliment becomes a necessity instead of a gift. Every ignored message feels like rejection. Every comparison becomes a wound. That is a heavy burden to carry, because people are constantly changing. Their opinions shift, their priorities change, and their attention moves from one thing to another. If your confidence depends on something so temporary, your peace will always feel uncertain. But when your confidence is rooted in self-respect, you become steady like a mountain that remains standing through every season. Think about the sun for a moment. It never asks the sky for permission to shine. It rises every morning because shining is its nature. In the same way, you do not need to convince people that you are enough. Your responsibility is not to perform for acceptance, but to live with honesty, kindness, and purpose. Those who are meant to appreciate your light will recognize it without you dimming yourself or chasing their approval. There will always be people who overlook your efforts, misunderstand your intentions, or fail to see the beauty of your heart. Do not let their blindness become your identity. A flower does not stop blooming because someone walks past without noticing its fragrance. It continues to grow because growth is what it was created to do. Your life becomes richer when your focus shifts from being admired to becoming wiser, stronger, and more compassionate each day. Real confidence is quiet. It does not need to announce itself in every room. It listens more than it boasts. It gives more than it demands. It understands that true influence comes from the way you treat people, the promises you keep, and the values you refuse to compromise. A person who knows their worth does not waste precious energy proving it to those determined not to see it. Instead, they invest that energy in learning, serving, creating, and becoming. So choose to honor yourself instead of chasing validation. Speak to yourself with the same kindness you offer others. Celebrate your progress even when no one applauds it. Keep growing in places where no audience exists, because the deepest roots always grow beneath the surface before anyone sees the tree. The day you stop begging for attention is the day you discover something far greater than popularity. You discover peace. And from that peace comes a quiet strength that naturally attracts genuine relationships, meaningful opportunities, and a life that reflects your true worth rather than the opinions of the crowd. Many people spend their lives searching for someone to inspire them, encourage them, or open a door they cannot open themselves. They wait for the perfect friend, the perfect mentor, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect season before they believe they can become who they were created to be. But life has a remarkable way of rewarding those who stop waiting for change and decide to become the change they have been hoping to find. The person you are searching for may already be growing within you, waiting for your courage to bring them into the light. Ask yourself this simple question. If you were to meet the person you dream of becoming, what qualities would they carry? Would they be patient in difficult moments? Would they speak with kindness when others choose anger? Would they remain disciplined when no one is watching? Would they keep their promises even when the journey becomes uncomfortable? These are not qualities reserved for extraordinary people. They are choices available to you every single day. Every decision you make is quietly shaping the person you are becoming. Growth does not happen all at once. It is built in the ordinary moments that most people overlook. It is found in waking up with purpose when you feel like giving up. It is choosing forgiveness instead of bitterness. It is reading one more page, taking one more step, learning one more lesson, and believing in yourself one more time after disappointment has visited your heart. Small actions repeated with consistency become the foundation of an extraordinary life. What seems invisible today becomes undeniable tomorrow. The world often tells you to look outward for happiness, but lasting fulfillment begins within. When you strengthen your character, your words carry greater meaning. When you develop wisdom, your decisions become clearer. When you cultivate peace, your presence becomes comforting to others. People are naturally drawn to those who possess authenticity because genuine confidence cannot be copied. It is earned through quiet moments of discipline, reflection, and unwavering faith. Do not become discouraged because your transformation feels slow. A seed buried beneath the soil may appear forgotten, yet every day it is stretching toward the light. No one applauds its hidden growth, but one day it rises above the ground, strong enough to weather storms and generous enough to provide shade for others. Your own journey follows the same pattern. The work you do in private is preparing you for the blessings you will experience in public. Every lesson, every setback, and every victory is shaping a stronger version of you. As you become wiser, you will notice that your standards begin to rise. You no longer chase relationships that leave you empty, because you have learned to value genuine connection. You no longer fear being alone, because you have discovered the joy of your own company. You stop comparing your journey with someone else's, because you understand that every life unfolds according to its own purpose. Instead of asking why others are moving ahead, you become grateful for the path that is uniquely yours. So give your energy to becoming rather than convincing. Invest in your mind, protect your peace, nurture your faith, and let your actions speak louder than your desires. The right people will recognize your character without you forcing their attention. The right opportunities will meet your preparation. The right season will arrive when your roots are strong enough to sustain the harvest. When you become the person you have been searching for, you will discover that life has a beautiful way of bringing everything else into its rightful place. One of the greatest fears people carry is the fear of missing out on what was meant for them. They watch someone else receive the promotion they wanted, the relationship they dreamed of, or the opportunity they prayed for, and they begin to wonder if life has forgotten their name. In those moments, disappointment can whisper dangerous lies, telling you that someone else has taken your place, or that your chance has disappeared forever. But life has a wisdom that human eyes cannot always see. What is genuinely meant for your journey does not vanish simply because it arrives later than you expected. A delay is not always a denial, and another person's success is not proof of your failure. The world often encourages competition. convincing us that there is only enough room for a few people to rise. Yet nature tells a different story. The sunrise never steals its beauty from the moon, and the ocean never competes with the mountains. Each has its own purpose, its own season, and its own unique gift to offer. In the same way, your life was never designed to be a copy of someone else's. Comparing your path with another person's timeline only distracts you from the work your own soul has been called to do. There will be moments when doors close without explanation. People may walk away without giving you the answers you hoped for. Plans you carefully built may fall apart before your eyes. It is easy to believe that everything has been lost, but sometimes what leaves your life is creating space for something far greater than you could have imagined. A closed door often protects you from a room where you never truly belonged. What feels like rejection today may become one of the greatest blessings you recognize tomorrow. Trust requires courage because it asks you to keep moving, even when you cannot see the entire road ahead. It means continuing to learn when no one notices your effort. It means showing kindness after experiencing disappointment. It means believing that your story is still unfolding, even when the current chapter feels uncertain. Faith is not pretending that life is easy. It is choosing hope despite the challenges and refusing to let temporary setbacks define your future. Do not waste your precious energy trying to hold on to people who have already decided to leave or opportunities that demand you sacrifice your peace and dignity. If you have to constantly chase, force, or beg for a place in someone's life, you may be fighting for something that was never designed to remain with you. What belongs to you will never require you to abandon your values or lose yourself in the process. It will meet you where honesty, patience, and self-respect live. As you continue to grow, you will discover that every experience has been preparing you rather than punishing you. Every setback has strengthened your resilience. Every disappointment has sharpened your wisdom. Every season of waiting has deepened your character. Nothing meaningful is ever wasted when it teaches you how to become stronger, kinder, and more grounded than before. So lift your eyes from what has passed you by and fix them on the life you are still creating. Celebrate the victories of others without believing they have taken anything from you. Walk forward with confidence instead of fear. Keep planting seeds of integrity, compassion, discipline, and hope. The harvest that carries your name cannot be harvested by someone else. The opportunities that truly belong to your purpose will recognize your preparation. And when the right moment finally arrives, you will understand that nothing destined for your life was ever capable of being stolen. It was simply waiting for the right season to find you. There are moments in life when holding on feels easier than letting go. We hold on to old disappointments because they have become familiar. We cling to relationships that no longer bring us peace because we fear loneliness more than unhappiness. We carry regrets from years ago as though they are meant to be permanent companions. Yet every burden we refuse to release quietly occupies the space where new joy, fresh opportunities, and deeper peace could have taken root. A closed hand cannot receive a gift. Before life can place something better into your hands, you must be willing to loosen your grip on what no longer serves your spirit. Letting go is often misunderstood as giving up, but the two are not the same. Giving up means abandoning hope. Letting go means choosing hope over fear. It is the decision to stop fighting battles that steal your energy without adding value to your life. It is recognizing that not every chapter deserves to become the entire story. Wisdom teaches us that strength is not measured by how tightly we hold on, but by how gracefully we release what has already completed its purpose. Think about the changing seasons. A tree does not resist autumn because it fears losing its leaves. It trusts that what falls away today is preparing it for new life tomorrow. Those falling leaves are not signs of failure. They are evidence of a natural cycle that makes future growth possible. Your life follows a similar rhythm. Sometimes people leave, plans change, and dreams evolve, not because your journey is ending, but because it is making room for something your present heart cannot yet fully imagine. Many people remain trapped in yesterday because they spend all their energy asking why something happened instead of asking what it is teaching them. Pain has a way of demanding our attention, but it does not deserve permanent residence in our hearts. Every disappointment carries a lesson if we are willing to learn from it. Every goodbye creates the possibility of a new hello. Every ending quietly introduces the beginning of another path. When you stop resisting change, you begin discovering the gifts hidden inside it. There is incredible freedom in releasing the need to control every outcome. You cannot force someone to appreciate your worth. You cannot rewrite the past, no matter how many times you revisit it in your mind. You cannot rush the arrival of every blessing, but you can choose your response. You can choose forgiveness instead of resentment. You can choose gratitude instead of bitterness. You can choose faith instead of constant worry. Those choices may seem small, but they reshape the direction of an entire life. As you let go, you may notice an unexpected calm settling within you. The weight that once exhausted your heart begins to disappear. You sleep with less anxiety because you are no longer carrying what was never yours to control. You smile more freely because your happiness is no longer chained to people, places, or circumstances. Your heart becomes lighter, your mind becomes clearer, and your vision for the future grows stronger. Peace enters the places where struggle once lived. So do not fear releasing what has already run its course. Bless the lessons, appreciate the memories, and keep walking forward without looking back in regret. The life waiting ahead of you deserves a heart that is open rather than burdened. Trust that every healthy ending creates room for a healthier beginning. What leaves your life makes space for what belongs in it. And when you stop filling your days with what no longer fits your purpose, you make room for the people, opportunities, and blessings that will find you naturally, without force, without fear, and without the need to chase. Long before you speak a single word, people begin to feel something about your presence. It is not your appearance that leaves the deepest impression, nor is it the titles you carry or the achievements you display. It is your energy. It is the quiet confidence in your walk, the kindness in your eyes, the patience in your responses, and the peace that follows you wherever you go. The world is filled with loud voices trying to prove their importance, but the people who leave lasting footprints are often those whose character speaks long before their mouths ever do. Every morning, you have a choice about the kind of energy you will carry into the world. You can wake up holding yesterday's anger, allowing disappointment to shape every conversation and every decision. Or you can choose gratitude, even if your circumstances are not yet perfect. Gratitude does not ignore hardship. It simply refuses to let hardship become the only story you tell yourself. A grateful heart sees possibilities where others only see obstacles. It finds reasons to smile while still working towards something greater. That kind of spirit is magnetic because hope has a way of inspiring everyone it touches. Discipline also becomes part of your invisible introduction. People may never witness the early mornings you spent learning, the sacrifices you made to improve yourself, or the quiet moments when you chose growth over comfort. Yet they will eventually see the results. They will notice your consistency when others lose focus. They will trust your words because your actions repeatedly support them. Real discipline is not about seeking recognition. It is about making decisions today that your future self will thank you for tomorrow. When your habits reflect integrity, your reputation begins to build itself without endless explanation. Authenticity is another gift that cannot be imitated for long. In a world where many people wear masks to gain acceptance, there is remarkable strength in simply being genuine. You do not have to pretend to be someone you are not in order to earn respect. The right people are not looking for perfection. They are looking for honesty. They are drawn to people who admit their mistakes, continue learning, and remain humble regardless of success. Authenticity creates trust because it removes the burden of pretending. It allows your life to become a reflection of your deepest values instead of the expectations of the crowd. Protect your inner world because everything you carry within eventually finds its way into your words, your choices, and your relationships. If your heart is filled with bitterness, it will quietly appear in your conversations. If your mind is filled with fear, it will influence every opportunity you hesitate to embrace. But when your soul is nourished by compassion, wisdom, and hope, those qualities naturally overflow into every room you enter. You no longer have to convince people that you are trustworthy. They sense it through the calmness of your presence and the consistency of your character. Never underestimate the influence of simple acts of kindness. A sincere smile, a patient response, an encouraging word, or a willingness to listen can leave an impression that lasts far longer than any speech. People may forget the details of what you said, but they often remember how you made them feel. When your presence brings peace instead of pressure, encouragement instead of judgment, and understanding instead of pride, you become someone others genuinely want to be around. So invest more time in shaping your heart than polishing your image. Build a life that is rooted in gratitude, strengthened by discipline, and guided by authenticity. Let your actions reflect the values you claim to believe. Walk with quiet confidence instead of noisy pride, and allow your character to become your strongest introduction. You will discover that the opportunities worth having, the relationships worth keeping, and the respect worth earning are rarely attracted by appearances alone. They are drawn to the steady light of a person whose inner life shines so brightly that it speaks long before any words are ever spoken. There is a quiet lesson that life teaches over and over again, yet many of us struggle to accept it. We believe that if something has not happened by now, it never will. We count the days, compare our progress with others, and convince ourselves that we have fallen behind. In that restless search for certainty, we often forget that every meaningful journey has its own rhythm. Some flowers bloom in early spring, while others wait until the warmth of summer. Neither one is late. Each unfolds exactly when it is ready. Your life is no different. What matters is not how quickly you arrive, but how completely you grow along the way. The desire to control every outcome is understandable. We want answers because uncertainty makes us uncomfortable. We want immediate results because waiting tests our patience. We want every door to open when we knock because rejection feels personal. Yet the greatest blessings often require a season of preparation before they become a reality. Imagine receiving everything you asked for before developing the wisdom to protect it, the humility to appreciate it, or the strength to sustain it. Sometimes the waiting is not meant to punish you, it is meant to prepare you. Faith is not the absence of questions. It is the decision to keep moving, even when every answer has not yet appeared. It is planting seeds without seeing the harvest. It is continuing to act with integrity when shortcuts seem more appealing. It is believing that every honest effort carries value, even if no reward is visible today. Faith whispers that your work is never wasted. Every lesson learned, every act of kindness, every disciplined choice, and every moment of perseverance is shaping a future that your present eyes cannot yet fully see. There will be seasons when nothing seems to change. You may continue working while opportunities remain silent. You may continue giving your best while recognition never arrives. Those moments can make you question your purpose, but they can also become the place where your character grows the deepest roots. A tree does not become strong because of a single day of sunshine. Its strength is developed through changing weather, powerful winds, and seasons that demand endurance. In the same way, your spirit becomes stronger through the challenges that teach you patience, resilience, and trust. When you stop forcing life to unfold according to your schedule, something remarkable begins to happen. You become more present. Instead of constantly worrying about tomorrow, you start appreciating the opportunities that exist today. You notice the people who genuinely care about you. You become grateful for the progress you once overlooked. Your heart grows lighter because you are no longer carrying the impossible burden of controlling everything beyond your reach. Peace enters the space where constant anxiety once lived. A life without purpose is easily distracted by every passing opinion, every temporary opportunity, and every promise that shines brighter than the last. When you do not know where you are going, almost anything can convince you to change direction. That is why so many people spend years chasing things they never truly wanted. They pursue recognition instead of fulfillment, popularity instead of character, and comfort instead of growth. Yet the moment you discover a purpose greater than your fears, something remarkable begins to happen. Your focus becomes clearer, your decisions become wiser, and your energy is no longer scattered across things that do not deserve your attention. Purpose has a quiet confidence about it. It does not need to compete with anyone because it understands that every person has been given a unique path to walk. A river does not waste time wishing it were a mountain. It simply continues flowing toward the place it was created to reach. In the same way, your greatest strength is not found in becoming someone else. It is found in fully embracing the gifts, values, and calling that belong to you alone. The more faithful you are to your own journey, the less tempted you become by the distractions that pull others away from theirs. There will always be voices trying to define success for you. Some will tell you that success is measured by wealth. Others will measure it by fame, influence, or possessions. But a purposeful life asks a different question. It asks whether your actions reflect your deepest values. It asks whether you are becoming a person who brings hope instead of fear, wisdom instead of confusion, and kindness instead of division. Success loses its meaning if achieving it requires sacrificing your integrity. The greatest victories are those that allow you to look in the mirror with peace, knowing you remain true to who you were created to be. Living with purpose also changes the way you respond to setbacks. Instead of seeing every obstacle as a reason to quit, you begin to recognize challenges as teachers. Difficult seasons no longer convince you that you are on the wrong path. They become opportunities to strengthen your patience, deepen your resilience, and refine your character. Every storm you endure shapes the person you are becoming. Every failure becomes a lesson instead of a life sentence. Purpose gives pain a direction, transforming struggles into stepping stones toward a stronger future. As your purpose grows stronger, so does your ability to say no. You no longer feel obligated to chase every opportunity simply because it appears attractive. You understand that not every open door leads to the right destination. Some invitations are distractions disguised as blessings. Some relationships consume your energy without adding peace to your life. Wisdom teaches you to protect your time because every moment spent on the wrong pursuit is a moment taken away from the purpose that truly deserves your heart. People are naturally drawn to those who live with clarity and conviction. They trust individuals whose actions remain consistent, even when circumstances change. Opportunities often find those who have spent years preparing in silence rather than seeking attention. Character has a way of opening doors that talent alone cannot unlock. When your life is built upon honesty, discipline, humility, and compassion, your reputation quietly travels ahead of you. You no longer have to persuade others to believe in your worth, because your daily choices become the evidence of it. So let your purpose become louder than your fears and stronger than your need for approval. Rise each day with the determination to grow, to serve, and to leave every place better than you found it. Keep your heart anchored in integrity, even when shortcuts seem easier. Continue building a life that reflects your values instead of chasing the expectations of the crowd. In time, you will discover that the opportunities meant for you recognize the person you have become. The right people will appreciate your authenticity. The right doors will open without force, and the life you once searched for will begin finding its way to you because you chose purpose over pursuit.